Bill Belichick is not going to come out and say Cam Newton's his starting quarterback because that's not what Bill Belichick ever does. But let's not act like there's any other scenario besides the scenario that has Cam starting week 1 if he's healthy. This was Bill yesterday. So he's asked about, well, would you maybe go to a rotation if you don't name a starter? And this was classic Belichick in his response to that question.
Look, I would always say I'll do it. I think it's best for the team. What gives us the best chance to win. So whatever that is, I would certainly consider that. If it's run unbalanced line or double unbalanced line or 23 personnel or whatever it is. If it helps us win, then I would consider anything.
Let me tell you, I've watched the Patriots a long time. They've tortured me as a fan of a team in the division. There is no plausible scenario where a quarterback rotation of Jarrett Stidham, Brian Hoyer, and Cam Newton helps you win games. That is not a realistic scenario. Brian Hoyer is terrible. Jarrett Stidham is unknown. And oh, by the way, if you're into practice stats, he threw 3 interceptions in practice the other day. Cam Newton's going to be the guy in New England, period. They didn't sign him in June for him not to be the day one starter if he's healthy. And Belichick has talked about how Cam has worked very hard so far, and he's been impressed by him. It's over. There was never a scenario after you sign a guy like Cam Newton that he's not your week 1 starter as long as he's healthy. And based on all the reports we've gotten so far out of New England, Cam Newton's very healthy. Probably healthier than he's ever been. If you listened to this radio show before, Cam Newton came on our show at Super Bowl Radio Row and said it's the healthiest he's been because he didn't play basically all of last year. He was out after week 2. They shut him down. So he said he was pretty close to 100% in February. Now flash forward to August, and I'd have to imagine Cam's probably as healthy as he's been in years since his body is fully recovered from the multiple injuries he's dealt with the last few years. He's going to be the starter in New England. We could try and look for different angles how to cover this story, but why bother? You're not playing Brian Hoyer. Jarrett Stidham's unknown. You're only going to play him and if Cam just doesn't play well at all in practice, and that has not yet been the case. All signs point to Cam starting. But I love Belichick trying to float out the idea that he'd have a quarterback rotation. This isn't Tom Brady in college or Tim Tebow in college at the beginning. You're playing Cam right away. You're not doing a rotation. Any NFL team that does a quarterback rotation tells you they don't really have a quarterback. And when Cam's healthy, you can't deny he's clearly the top guy on the roster. So Belichick could say, I'm not going to rule out anything, but I'll translate for you. He's ruling out a quarterback rotation. Cam's the guy until he's not. If Cam is healthy, he's still probably the best quarterback in the AFC East. Right? Sam Darnold's still unknown. Josh Allen, I don't love. Tua's a rookie and Fitz is the incumbent. None of those guys, when Cam is right, are better than Cam Newton. Now, if Cam gets hurt like he's been hurt the last few years, then yeah. Then you maybe see a rotation, but the rotation's not a rotation. It's Stidham gets the next crack at it. But I laughed when I saw a tweet the other day from Chris Mortensen, who basically was implying, I think we need to talk more about, Brian Hoyer. He has to be in the mix in this quarterback conundrum. Mortensen tweeted this yesterday. Don't know how this turns out, but always believed Brian Hoyer was missing from the Patriots conversation. First half schedule is demanding. No doubt Cam will bring significant dimension, but Hoyer has a chance to help steer the ship too, based on what I was told last month. Someone lied to you, Chris. You're highly respected at what you do, but you don't even believe that. Come on. If the Patriots have to play Brian Hoyer for any games this year, something went horribly wrong. Either Cam got hurt or Stidham was just horrendous. They had no choice. The Patriots quarterback's Cam Newton until otherwise. They didn't bring him in for him not to play. They brought him in because they realized the value of getting that guy on a one-year deal when he's likely healthy was too good to pass up if you're New England. I mean, I'll tell you what. If Cam Newton does not start week 1 and he's fully healthy, I'll obviously admit I'm wrong, but Ron, come up with something I have to do on the air as a punishment because that's how confident I am that Cam is going to start week 1 for the Pats, assuming he's healthy?
I'm sure. Well, you know what? I don't like punishing people except for my kids. But I'm certain that there are people listening right now knowing full well how much of a Jets fan you are, that they can come up with a proper punishment for you if Belichick does go Stidham instead of Cam Newton.
If someone wants to send me Patriots gear, I'll wear that on the air that morning.
Ooh.
As a punishment if I'm wrong on this.
Maybe you got to go. How certain are you?
I mean, they're not playing Brian Hoyer.
Patriots tattoo?
Ooh, I'm anti-tattoo, so I wouldn't go that far. But you know what?
We'll do a small one, on the top of your foot. No one will ever see it.
Okay. Maybe.
But we'll do the classic. We'll do the old Minuteman.
The old, yes.
That way you can pass it off just, you're a Revolutionary War buff.
I am a big Revolutionary War guy.
So you can get a Minuteman and dress him up as you want, but we all know deep down inside that that's a Patriots logo.
That was my favorite subject growing up in school.
Revolutionary War?
Well, history, but specifically American history. And then when we would cover the American Revolution, I was all about it. In fact, one of my favorite movies of all time, you want to take a guess?
Don't say Revolution with Al Pacino.
No, not that.
Okay,
Another movie about the American Revolution, though, if you can get it.
You have to help me out here.
Heath Ledger's in the movie.
Okay, so the Mel Gibson, the Patriot?
The Patriot. There you go. If I said Mel Gibson, you would have got it right away. But
Heath Ledger. I knew that one too.
You got it. Great. The Patriot's one of the more underrated films I think ever. That's a great movie. It's always on TV. I saw it on. When I first saw it, 8th grade, U.S. history. Gary Green was the name of the teacher.
Shout out to
Mr.
Gary
Green.
Mr. Green or Dr. Green?
Mr. Green.
Mr. Green?
Yeah, he wasn't a doctor then. He was Mr. Green. Mr. Green showed our class the Patriot.
Yep. If you're listening, Mr. Green, he just said your name a couple of times.
Mr. Green. Hope all's well.
And he's getting a Patriots tat in your honor.
There will be no Patriots tat. Steve Asman has written in, my dad, not going to happen. No tattoos.
But it's a Patriots logo, so it's okay.
I would never get a tattoo anyway, though. Do you have any tattoos, Ron?
Yes.
Where's your tattoo? Oh, wow, I never noticed that. Okay. What is that?
It's my wife designed. It's when I was living in Hawaii.
Is it like a Hawaiian?
Yeah, it's a tribal. It's a tribal tattoo that she designed, and there's little symbolism throughout it.
How long is does it stretch to your back or
your
shoulder?
No, it's just right there.
It's just on your arm.
Yep.
Your left arm.
Left arm.
Okay.
Left shoulder, just below the sleeve or just above the sleeve.
Yeah, I'm not a big tattoo guy. I have no issue if anyone wants to get a tattoo. Hey, you do you. But I would never get a tattoo.
Yeah.
A, I'm petrified of needles, and B, I just don't want.
It doesn't hurt as much as people complain it does.
I don't want something there for the rest of my life. What if I change my mind? I change my mind about everything.
You would change your mind about being a Jets fan?
No.
Would you change your mind about being a Yankees fan?
I would not. No.
Would you if you got?
I don't feel as passionately about anything to ink
if you
on
got
my
the
body.
number 2 tattooed to your shoulder, would out of respect for Jeter?
I would never do such a thing. Out of respect for Jeter. I would never get a tattoo. I have no issue with anyone who wants a tattoo. I don't believe in something or feel passionately enough.
All right,
about
so
something
I'll take
to ink it for the rest of my life.
I'll take the Patriot tattoo punishment off the table then, guys. So leave him alone. He's not going to get a Patriots tattoo.
Give me a different punishment, and we'll come up with it. If Cam Newton doesn't start week 1, the caveat is as long as he's healthy. If he gets injured and it's somebody else,
well, of course. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
We're talking about health. He's 100%. He's
Maybe
the week 1 starter.
You know what? If Cam Newton doesn't start, maybe you need to adopt his clothing style for a show.
That would be funny. I would have to.
I don't know where you shop to get that type of stuff, but we try to find a way to make it up.
Well, Cam basically dressed up as like Little Red Riding Hood the other day.
Right. So maybe it's
that.
Maybe you dress up as Little Red Riding Hood, Cam Newton style.
I'll get the Cam glasses.
That might be the best punishment of all.
I'm also really disappointed he's in New England because I like Cam Newton. Like, I was kind of iffy on him like before I met him, but he came on our show in Miami at Super Bowl Radio Row back when Cody Stutes and I were still doing the main event together in the afternoons. And I was very impressed by Cam, even just talking to him off the air. Really nice guy, down to earth, like really cool. Like, I think Cam kind of gets a reputation that, maybe he's a bit standoffish or he's to himself and whatnot, but He was really friendly and he was cool. It was a really good interview, too. It got picked up on a bunch of different outlets for some of the comments he made. So I was rooting for Cam up until he signed with the team I despise more than any other team on the planet. So
you can still secretly root for him. Maybe he's there as to do you a favor and help the Patriots tank.
If he plays well but New England loses every game, great. Like if I want New England to lose every game 45-40.
No, you don't, because then they'll have the number 1 overall pick.
Okay, so let's go 5-11 so they don't get the number 1 overall pick.
You want them to be around, maybe number 6 through 10.
But let's make sure out of their wins they get, none of them come against the Jets. Which is, let's be honest here, the Jets are losing at least once to New England. They're not winning both games. They might not even win one game, if we're being honest, but that's how it goes. But hey, AFC East, it is wide open. All you Bills fans think you have it under lockdown. You don't. You're going to be in for a rude awakening when there's some actual pressure on your football team this year. But we'll leave it at that.